Hello, everyone. Nice to see you, everyone. Here is a new flash about mass automation. So it's the flash number 8, and we have quite a few new things. Actually, today I'm streaming live from Bangkok. I'm at DevCon, and there's many people interested in this narrative, so I'm gonna go through it with you. First of all, a reminder of the roadmap of automation. We are still at milestone 1, still on time. We have made good progress on the ASCs with guaranteed execution. I'm going to talk to you a bit more about that. We have improved the tooling, and that's done now. So the new Masa Web3, the new wallet provider, everything is available. So feel free to check it out. The Sintra app has also been massively improved. I'm going to show you a bit more about it soon. And the next steps are going to be to package all of these as a product, and it's going to be very powerful, and you're going to see the real power of Masa very soon. So first of all, the ASCs with guaranteed execution. To remind you, the way the current ASCs work is that they behave a bit like normal transactions, but we allow smart contracts to emit them. And we allow the smart contracts to say, I want to execute it in the future. The problem is that if there's congestion in certain cases, the transactions might not be executed, just like normal transactions, actually. They inherit from the same flaws. And that's a bit of an issue. So we are going to publish a new version of the autonomous smart contracts where the smart contracts can request a quote to execute something in the future, and the system is going to price it automatically. And if they're okay with this quote, they're going to reserve a future execution, a future call, and it's going to be guaranteed to be executed exactly at that moment. It doesn't depend on blocks, it doesn't depend on anything. Once it's reserved, it's going to happen at that given time. So the code base is ready, the tooling has been updated, the metrics have been added, it's being tested in LabNet, the API has been implemented, and it's been integrated with the mainnet 2.3 that's going to be released very soon. So we still need to do a few tweaks. We have added the storage costs for parameters, because if the future calls contain very big parameters, the risk is that if there's many registered calls, we bloat the state. So we have it added storage costs for parameters for security reasons. And what's in progress right now is the code base is still being reviewed, because it's going to be a big update from the mainnet. It's still being tested in LabNet. You can actually, if you're a project and you want to try it, feel free to contact us. We can give you early access. We are still making some examples to show you how to use this new version of the autonomous smart contracts. And we are working on a bit more gas and constant calibration regarding these autonomous smart contracts to make sure that they're safe when they're released. On the horizon, we're getting ready to deploy on BuildNet, and we're gonna do some versioning to make sure that when we deploy, it does not break the mainnet. So it's a big task. It's being worked on by our teams right now. Also, on another side, there is very cool news coming from the MetaMask side. Um, we have granted a team to work on the MetaMask Snap, so it's a bit of a plugin for MetaMask, so that the Masa wallet can be supported inside MetaMask. The Snap has been audited. The audit findings have been fixed, sorry. And what's in progress right now is that we are improving the UI and integrating it with the wallet provider so that all apps can benefit from a MetaMask wallet very soon. On the horizon, we aim to finalize the audit by sending the new batch of changes and publish the snap on the MetaMask store very soon. So in the near future, you'll be able to access Masa using MetaMask snaps. So that's going to be very cool, and I hope it moves forward, because we, after all of this, we still need to wait for approval from MetaMask themselves, but we hope it's going to go fast. On the Sintra side, remember, it's the demonstration app that's fully on chain, front end, back end, and it allows you to send money on a recurrent basis, like every day, every 2 days, whatever, to someone. And we have fixed some things in the UE. We have a new tab to monitor received payments, not only send payments, and it's hosted on the new version of the DWeb. So you can try it out, you can play with it. The URL is here. Go try it and give us feedback on how it behaves. Then, when it comes to smart contract standards, finally the MRC 1155, so it's a special kind of NFT standard, has been added to the MASA standards. It's been developed by a third party using the grants program, and the code is now a MASA standard. So anybody can now start using this new standard in this new NFT standard in MASA. So feel free to try it. If you go on our GitHub, Massa Labs, Massa Standards, you'll find it under smart contracts MRC 1155. So it's the equivalent of the ERC 1155. So feel free to try it. It's very cool. And finally, Massa is now at DevCon. We are going to present the new automation features. Actually, it's going to be on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be very, very interesting because we have a live show. We're going to showcase everything regarding automation, and hopefully, it's going to be attended by many people. And we hope that people enjoyed the presentation. So yeah, so far so good. Uh, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Uh, that's it for the news for now. We're gonna continue building all of these in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, we're gonna release the new version of the mainnet very soon and benefit from all this hype currently that the market is having to launch something big, because we are planning to take all of these features and to package them into unified product that's going to be a bit of an equivalent of AWS, but fully decentralized for the first time. It's going to allow people to come and deploy a full project, front end, back end, automation, everything together. And then literally the team can disappear. They don't need to maintain anything. It's going to run by itself. So that's going to be a first time in history. And I hope you guys are hyped as much as we are. So yeah, that's about it for now. So feel free if you have any questions. If not, it's all right. This is meant to be short. And also, if anybody is at DevCon right now in Thailand, feel free to ping us. We can meet, we can discuss. So yeah, that's about it. Why DWeb is not fully on chain? Well, DWeb is fully on chain actually. Um, Maybe what causes the confusion here is that first of all, the way it's deployed, it's the same as the way you deploy a smart contract. It's fully stored on chain. So that's one thing. Second thing, the way you access it, you have two choices to access it. Either you install the provider locally and you access it. You can find all the information in our documentation, and this is the fully on-chain way. So actually, if you want to push the thing to the extreme, the best way is that you install the a provider locally, and um, you run your own node, and in that case you're fully decentralized. You're at the top of decentralization. The second level is that you run a provider locally and you have access to all the web without censorship, and you can basically access with your provider an existing node. That's the second level. And if you don't want to install anything, but then it's a bit less decentralized, you also have the choice to access through an existing provider like Massa Hub, like ourselves, Massa.network, or others. So overall, everybody has an option. Of course, if you want the fully decentralized option, you need to install a provider locally. Otherwise, you need to go through a provider if you don't want to install anything. It's the same problem as Tor have. If you have used Tor before, you need to install your program locally. It's kind of a browser, Tor browser, or Tor router. That's the only way you can actually access things in a fully decentralized way. But Massa provides all ways. You can go through a provider, or you can install a local provider. It's your choice. So there's a few questions here. Do you use cash on provider side? Yeah, but that's if you go to a provider. You can be your own provider just for yourself. You don't need to provide to others. You can install your provider locally and access everything, all the DWeb for free. It's impossible, actually. If you find a way, I'm very curious if you have any ideas how it would be technically possible to not install anything, but don't go to a provider. I would be very interested in this, but for now, unfortunately, there is no solution. Technically, it's impossible, but that's why we provide both ways. Um, What about the pricing for the ACs? Actually, the pricing, there's two ways. First, there's the current state of the ACs, which behave just like normal transactions. So a smart contract can say, I want to call something in the future and emit a some kind of deterministic transaction that's going to be stored in a deterministic pool. And when the time comes, the autonomous transactions are going to be ordered deterministically according to the ratio between the fee that was paid, that was burnt actually, divided by the amount of gas. So basically, it's going to allow you to execute transactions in the future, and the pricing mechanism is the same as the current transactions. The more gas you use, the more you put tokens to be executed first, and the prioritization is done deterministically by an algorithm. So there's a price market also for the current ASCs. In the future, there's an upcoming version of the ASCs. It's going to be a future pricing market. It's going to be a bit different. The way it's going to work is, first, it's not going to replace the existing ASCs. They're still going to be available, but we're going to make this new version of the ASCs available on top of them. And the new version, the way it works is that you can say, I'm going to, as a smart contract, the smart contract can say, for example, I'm going to call something in 5 days or whatever. And what's going to happen is that you're going to ask for a quote to an automatic pricing mechanism that uses the same algorithms as when you reserve planes in the future. The more there's demand, the more price goes up. And your smart contract can read this quote and accept it or refuse it. If it refuses it, it can choose to try another slot around, see if there's anything cheaper, just like you would choose another plane. If you find that your plane is too expensive, you're going to reserve another one. But once it's reserved, you have the guarantee that it's going to be executed in the future. That's the new version. Um, so everything is a market. We don't choose us the price of ASCs, and we don't get any money from the ASCs you're going to create. It's all an on-chain market. And all the fees, whether it's the current version or the new version coming, they're both all burnt. So it's going to create, the more the ASCs are used, the more it's going to cause a deflationary pressure. What projects are currently building on DWeb? Well, there's a few projects that have been granted. Actually, if you go on the site of the foundation, you'll see all the projects that have been granted, uh, especially the bounties around this. For now, we are going to have a front end for liquidity on chain. We're going to have a landing page to introduce everyone. We are currently migrating all the existing projects. You've seen probably Perfect, DUSA, and all the others. They're currently migrating to the DWeb, the new version, V2. And we also have new grants open. So if anybody has ideas on new things to build, feel free to join. But reminder, these things are still not in mainnet. For now, the DWeb is still in buildnet phase. So when we go on mainnet, then the main onboarding phase for projects is going to happen. I believe that Masha should seriously start marketing with some of the investment it has received. Yes, I agree. And actually, we are currently writing down a full plan on starting the marketing. What we believe is that we're gonna market something that resembles the first fully decentralized cloud, and we're getting everything ready to start progressively marketing this uh, in two stages. Stage one will be until the end of the year to release all these products and start building on top of it. And second stage, 2025, the very beginning, to hit as hard as we can in terms of marketing and to make everything explode once everything is available. But for now, we still need to wait for the DWeb and all these things to go on mainnet. And then we're going to be able to onboard as many projects as we can. And something can change the zip. Um, yeah, but all not users will install the local server. Okay, so if you're a provider, you can change your own zip. Of course, you're gonna touch your cache. Fine, that's your own problem. If you provide to others, then these other people are gonna trust your provider. That's unfortunately the only way. But if you don't want to go through a provider, you can install it locally and you can have access. Of course, again, there's no other way, technically speaking, to solve that. If the apps migrate to DWeb, will normal user be able to access it through the browser without installing anything? Yes, but then they have to trust the provider. we're gonna provide a provider. Anybody else can be a provider. You're free to become a provider. Massa Hub has become providers, and a few others as well. You don't need to install anything. You can access the DWeb, but then you need to trust what the provider serves you. So that's kind of an intermediate solution for people who don't want to install anything. Yeah. So that was a lot of questions. I hope I have answered everything. But if you have more, feel free to ask. Okay. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you everyone for being there. And again, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the communities. We're there whenever we can. If you have technical questions as well, feel free to ask us. All the stuff related to automation is already testable. Um, in LabNet or BuildNet, and everything is gonna be soon on mainnet. So get ready for this. Sorry, Jiku, you're saying, okay, maybe create a dashboard with trusty providers. Actually, that's being built as we speak. The DWeb team is working on basically a way to have an equivalent of Google in the DWeb. So there's going to be listings of providers, there's going to be listings of websites, indexing, so you'll be able to access everything just as you do on the current web. But this is a bit complicated, it takes time to build, but we hope we're going to have it very soon. And also, our recommendation is that either you trust the provider or you there's not enough trust there, but we will always recommend that everybody who can installs everything locally. In Massa, it's very easy to run a node. The nodes are not very heavy. You can run them on the desktop computer, run your own node, run your own provider. You don't even need to provide to others, but that's our recommended way to access stuff. Or the former idea to reduce the start block reward would be considered. Yes, actually, if you look at the forum, we have posted a first step for decentralized governance. This is big deal. Please, guys, go have a look at it. Make your comments. This is the way we are going to allow the community to vote for improvements in practice, because uh, it's nice to make proposals on the forum and to discuss it, but for us it's very hard to know how many people in practice want it and how many don't want it. So go comment please on the new post that's been made around decentralized governance. Eventually the goal is that we grow this decentralized governance and everybody who has tokens can vote in a decentralized way. We're going to do it in step by step, and eventually the Massa Foundation would be at your control. So that's the end goal, that the Massa Foundation becomes the legal executioner of everything that's voted on chain. So please go check it out. And actually the block reward reduction could be one of the pilot programs for this. So please go comment on this, and we're gonna try to implement it as soon as possible. Being a provider requires running something like the node, right? The best way to become a provider is to run your own node and to run a local server that's the provider. So that's the most decentralized way. Otherwise, you can just install the server. Oh yeah, for sure. Otherwise, you can just install the provider, which is just a web server basically, and this by default accesses one of the public nodes and serves what's on chain. So if you go on docs.massa.net, you'll find all the information about you click on the DWeb section, you'll find everything so that you can run basically this local web server and use Nginx or any other basically proxy to serve it to others. It's completely straightforward. Yes, you can use Nginx, you can use any other to route it out. And you don't need to, it's not very heavy. It's just a local cache, basically, that connects to an existing node. But of course, we recommend running your own node as well. Any news about partnerships? Yes, actually, there's going to be, we are moving forward with Kima. Remember Kima Finance? This is going very well. So we're going to have a new step announced soon. So stay in touch with this. We are, as you have heard, we're also moving forward with Umbrella for the Oracle part. That's also going to be very powerful. Also, keep in touch. There's going to be some very new announcements regarding automation and DWeb, and also new partnerships are coming. I'm going to do my best at DevCon here to gather as many as I can. So I'm negotiating hard right now, and I hope we sign as many as we can. Okay, that was a lot of questions. So yeah, guys, feel free to go look at the forum, forum.masa.community. Have a look. Have a look at the documentation, docs.masa.net. If you're interested by automation, it's gonna be available in. For now, it's in the new version is in LabNet. So feel free to ask us explicitly if you want to play with it. Soon it's gonna be in BuildNet, so we'll be able to build using the new version of the ACs. But remember, the old version of the autonomous smart contracts is already in mainnet. You can already use it, and that's very unique to Masa. Um, what about the storage hint that was mentioned before? Yeah, so this is still in discussions. Uh, for now, on the DWeb, you'll be able to store, of course, but if you want to store bigger amounts, we are still in discussion around the proposal, two proposals actually. One from Sebastian in the forum, uh, that allows node runners to give away some of their free space. So we hope to see how we can implement that. There's a grant already ready for this, so feel free to discuss with the foundation if you're interested in implementing that before us. And the second step would be the proposal again in the forum that's called service providers. This one is going to be one of the cornerstones in the medium longer term. But for now, we really want to first deliver what we have. That's the BuildNet version 2 of automation. Yeah, I hope it answers the question. You rock, bro. Well, thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm there for you. And remember, every Monday, every week, we do an update on the progress of what we're building. So whoever wants, they can attend, they can ask questions. And if somebody wants to showcase a product they have built using the automation systems or the web, feel free to contact us. We can help you showcase it as well. Okay, well, that's it for now then. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the questions, and feel free to contact us whenever you want. And yeah, have an amazing time. I hope DWeb brings us a lot of new partnerships. I will keep you updated.